Hello and welcome to today's video in high altitude investing. Today is going to be a Bitcoin and altcoin price overview. So let's get right into it. Alright, so if we look here, we can see that MadeSafe has started to break out a little bit, and this is a good sign because it looks like this could be a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here, a 1, 2, 3 bottom continuation pattern as they're referred to, and that's happening right at that 38% level from its low. So this could be a great time that for MadeSafe to start gaining some uptrend leverage again here, because as you can see, it's generally an uptrend. It's just had some inflation right here, kind of price inflation, and it's just been correcting itself since then. Came down and tested this 23% level around June 11th, and now we're seeing it test this 38% level today on the 15th of October. So this is kind of an interesting point in MadeSafe coin, and definitely something to keep your eye on. I would say that I wouldn't be buying MadeSafe today because it's up 11%, but I would probably be buying MadeSafe in the 0.000135 range once it's dropped off, about 1,000 satoshis, and then I can see MadeSafe being a better investment or a better time to buy for profit on your investment. But I still think long term MadeSafe coin will continue on this nice uptrend that it has created for itself so far. Alright, let's check out XMR today. XMR is actually down pretty significantly from what I projected it was going to do, but there's something that I wanted to point out in XMR. First of all, we haven't seen it break below its bottom yet, so it still technically could be a 1, 2, 3 bottom forming here, doubtfully, due to the fact that it came up and tested this 23 twice, 3 times to be precise, and lost its strength there and came right back to where it's at right now, which was where its lowest low was. So basically what I'm waiting for XMR to do is if it breaks below its lowest low, which is 0.00993, then I would say that XMR may come test its 23% level due to the factor of XMR mining. Tons of people have been mining XMR recently, and due to that we have a significant increase in inflation, and whenever there's inflation in a currency, it's going to lose some of its value. It also just hit the highest point it's ever hit in its existence, so it's only natural that it would come test some support levels pretty hard. So we could see, this kind of looks like a pattern that MadeSafe coin made. So, it could come test this 23% level. I kind of doubt it. I kind of think it'll just stay where it's at and kind of gain leverage again, level out a little bit, maybe in between here, like at the 0.009 range I was talking about. But we'll see. Only time can tell with XMR. It's kind of a new thing for me. This breakout pattern right here was very intense, had lots of volume. Nobody really knew exactly what to expect. So it's only natural for XMR to kind of have a lot of decision making it needs to do before it continues. But it still could be a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Keep that in mind, because if this is indeed a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation where it's at right now, then we could see a huge run in XMR in the very near future. Let's go back here. If you actually go back far enough, then this becomes the 38% level that it's testing. So that could be very important. That could be very important to the overall price of XMR, because it actually hasn't broken, it hasn't lost value as an investment or made a new low since December 19th of like 2 years ago, I believe. So yeah, 2 years ago. And that's a lot of time, you know, that's a lot of time for this currency to have a nice general uptrend. It came up and hit here, kind of downtrended, didn't break below its low, came up and hit here, and then just mooned. So that's, you know, that's a good thing to see in a currency. We'll see what happens. I'm just kind of waiting right now. Now, my thoughts on Ethereum have changed, and my thoughts on Ethereum Classic have changed. And there's a couple reasons for that, and I'll explain this here in a minute. So Ethereum, I think Ethereum will hold as the true chain. Now, I'm not going to say that that's going to be fact, but here's why I think Ethereum's going to hold to the true chain. Because I did a little research on the value stack of the way that the technology works on top of each other. So if you go to the ETH markets and you look at all of these, except for ETC because it's the classic chain, these are technologies based on Ethereum. And as these technologies stack on top of Ethereum's technology, then there's what's called a value stack, which allows the it basically means that the market cap of all of those cryptocurrencies and technologies all are linked to Ethereum because they all run on Ethereum. And so due to that, we could see a huge increase in Ethereum's value. And I kind of don't see any applications being developed for Ethereum Classic as of right now. So for now, I exchanged my ETC into Ethereum at a pretty big loss in money, but I think that it's the right decision for now, because if we look over here, Ethereum could be making the same 1, 2, 3 bottom continuation pattern that I've been talking about. Just this huge run up, come back down to test these levels, and we see that it has a lot of up, you know, push right here. Last time it hit this level, it just went and just, you know, mooned clear up to here. So we see a lot of up push right here on Ethereum, and I feel like it's going to continue uptrending. Now, whether it will continue uptrending against Bitcoin on here, maybe. I mean, obviously it will keep some leverage, but not near as much leverage as it's going to uptrend against the US dollar. This is what I would be generally trading Ethereum against, and ETC actually, and it's because the US dollar is going to lose the most value out of anything when these currencies run, because the internet is taking over money, you know, and the US dollar is the #1 currency in the world, or at least the most globally accepted as far as like a fiat currency goes. Most people would prefer the US dollar. Now, as we can see, Ethereum holds much stronger against the US dollar than Bitcoin, and came clear up to a different high. I've pointed this out before, but I just wanted to mention it again because it's important to remember that trading against Bitcoin all the time isn't the best idea when Bitcoin is continually running up, unless you're really, really good at trading at the right times, unless you can consistently make the proper trades so that you accumulate more Bitcoin. That's what I try and do. I generally trade against Bitcoin. Sometimes I trade against the US dollar, but I generally trade against Bitcoin, and I generally margin trade to accumulate Bitcoin. But that's my personal trading plan, and that's because I usually have been able to nail most of these trades recently. So now let's go back to these markets again. Let's look at Potcoin again. Somebody in my last video told me that they wanted some pre-pump coins, so I'm going to try and show you a few of the coins that I think are pre-pump right now. But I'm going to talk about Potcoin for a second here. Potcoin is basically like prepaid debit cards for the cannabis industry, because the cannabis industry can't accept banks, and so all of the money is in cash, the legal cannabis industry in America. So Potcoin is basically a cryptocurrency in which you can go buy a debit card, and you can take this debit card to medical dispensaries or recreational dispensaries, depending on what state you live in, and you can spend it at those dispensaries. So it's basically taking that problem where dispensaries have to have cash on them all the time, because there's been people shot taking money from dispensaries, like workers and employees hurt and are killed. I'm not sure if they've been killed, but I know that there's been some situations where, I mean, they're leaving with all of this cash, US currency, and that's, obviously there's going to be gang members and stuff trying to come up on that. So this gets around that issue, and so it's an interesting technology. It came down, tested as 23%, so I think it's a great buy right now. Lots of volume. But that's all I really want to talk about Potcoin, because I want to get into some pre-pumps, because for some reason that's popping. Alright, so here's Horizon Coin. Now, Horizon Coin is a pre-pump. Now, what we can see here is a significant past in downtrending. Finally found a bottom and a nice breakout, and it's just tested its 50%, and we're gonna see it test its 38%. So buy a whole ton of Horizon Coin around the 70 Satoshi range, and you will see nice profits running the pump in this coin. Alright, let's see, what's another pre-pump? Gamecoin. Gamecoin is up 10% today, but this is going to continue uptrending. I don't know if you would call it a pump. Also, I would argue that Potcoin wasn't a pump. It was just a breakout of a bottom formation in a technology that has value potential. But here we go. Let's go into game credits. And look at this one here. As you can see, we've had a pretty nice run in game credits. Clear since July 28th of last year, we've seen game credits do nothing but increase in value. So this is a nice coin. It's finally breaking out of its bull formation here, and I will see game credits breaking a new high within the next week for sure. So 2 weeks tops. This is a great investment. It's just been playing around in these fib levels, and it's finally decided that it wants to go up. So great coin to invest in. Now, once you read it, this one is beginning to pump. So start buying once you read it every single time it gets any cheaper, because this coin will break very, very high within the next little while. As you can see, the indicators were back here. April 8th and August 8th or 6th, you could see these indicators where there was just these volume spikes, probably when Bitcoin was dumping, and these are good, indicators when you're looking for pre-pumps, is these little jumps up, and then see these little pump and dumps. These are mini pump and dumps on its way for its huge pump and dump, and that's what 1C is doing right now. It's just gonna pump clear up. It might not, exactly dump. Of course, it's gonna lose in value, but it's definitely going to break above its current high. So keep an eye on 1C. It's expensive. It's expensive, by the way. It's a very valuable cryptocurrency. 0.0133 Bitcoin. is what it's at right now, and it's up 33% today. Alright, let's go to the 24-hour up. Diem with the 1 Satoshi move, we see a 50% increase. Once you read it again, 40% increase. Made is up 12, game is up 11, bits is up 720, Bitstar, Cubuck, yeah, Queebuck, I don't know, is up 7%. You can see this could be the beginning of a little pump and dump. Those indicators where you see this increase in value and a little bit of uptrend here, and then it goes out the roof. You know, this only has 6 Bitcoin in volume, but that's all it takes for you to notice these little indicators on these pre-pumps. So this could be a pre-pump. Keep your eye on it. Bitcoin Dark is up 6%, and LTBC is up 6%. This could be another breakout right here. Definitely one to keep your eye on. Looked like it bottomed back here, and we can see an increase in value since then. So keep an eye on that coin. Now let's look at the 24-hour down. We have Vox down at 27%. I know what Voxels is. Yeah, Voxels was added relatively recently. Back in May is when Voxels was added, but it's been downtrending for a while, and maybe we see that it could be making a bottom formation here. Let's check out these 4-hour candlesticks. Yeah, that looks like it could be a 1, 2, 3 bottom forming in Voxels. It could downtrend more, but one to keep your eye on. 38 Bitcoin in volume. Usually there's not a lot of volume when these coins bottom out before they start. They get most of their volume on their uptrend, so keep an eye on that. There goes Horizon dumping a little bit again, so it just came to the number 1. Block is down 13%. I'm just gonna point the ones out that I think have value potential, because a lot of these ones that are down I don't really think have value potential. So BlockNet is up, down 13%, and could be a very good buy right now at its 23% level. I've already talked about Potcoin. Let's look at MMNXT. This is a good coin to be investing in. This is the beginning of an uptrend, and if you don't have some MMNXT, quite the tongue twister if I do say so myself, then I would suggest getting some, especially right now as it's oscillating in between these levels. So MMNXT is a good investment in my eyes at this point in time. Alright, as you can see, most stuff is up against the XMR markets, and that's because XMR is down. Pretty simple. Dash is a long-term investment. I believe is a very good long-term investment. Let's check out the to US dollar chart here. See, it's basically been uptrending like pretty identical to Bitcoin against the US dollar. Now this Poloniex chart is a little bit different than some other ones I've seen, but this was when Bitcoin broke out, you know, and then it kind of just did the same thing-ish as Bitcoin. So definitely one to keep your eye on. Good investment long term. It could be losing some value right now, maybe testing some of this 50% range, but definitely one to keep your eye on. Now let's check out our volume. We have 56 million in 24-hour volume, so we're down a little bit in volume today. Our top volume coins are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, Litecoin, Ripple, and Potcoin. Our bottom volume coins in the top 100 are Quark, Breakout Stake, Nubits, Goldcoin, AN, Faircoin, and Mintcoin. Our 24-hour up is Mintcoin. Our 24-hour down is ADZ coin. And we have a $12,567,435,000 market cap of the total cryptocurrencies and assets. Bitcoin is still at 81.1% dominance, holding strong, and I think that we're gonna see just a nice run in all of these cryptocurrencies right now. I feel like there's just a big wave of value. A ton of US dollars going to be put into cryptocurrencies in the next little while. This is my Bitcoin chart, my Bitstamp one on CryptoWatch, and as always, Bitcoin is looking very nice. Came down and tested the 630 support level, and you know, it's kind of oscillating around in that area for a minute, but that's to be expected considering that it oscillated to all hell right here back in June. So I was kind of expecting this to do, you know, this oscillation pattern on its way up. It might test levels again, just purely because of the strength that these cryptocurrencies are getting. And the volume that they're getting here on Poloniex, I mean 2,000, 1,000, 12, you know, like just thousands of Bitcoin in volume in 24-hour, and 1,000, like, I don't know if you've ever calculated this, but if you take the volume just on Poloniex, just against Bitcoin, and you times it by the current value of Bitcoin on Poloniex because it's the relevant exchange, you see that we have 1.8 million US dollars just against XMR and Bitcoin. And people see that volume thing and they think, oh, well, that's not that much volume. It is. It's Bitcoin. So it's a lot of volume. Bitcoin is worth a lot of money. So you have to remember that. You have to keep that in mind. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. I think Bitcoin's going to continue on its uptrend. Might come test this level one more time at 630 when it comes and hits the 656 range. We'll see though. It might just break right above it. Bitcoin's known to do some wild things. But yeah, I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Stay profitable. Like, comment, subscribe if you learned something from this video, or if you enjoyed it, or if you have any questions. You can also email me at highaltitudeinvesting@gmail.com if you have any questions, and I will answer those to the best of my ability. I appreciate your time, and have a nice day.